Hello everybody, it's CrabMTG here, and today we have an extremely good, extremely interesting, extremely fun Iktekik and Akiri Golem Tribal EDH deck tech. So, Iktekik Salvage Splicer is 4 and a green for a legendary 1/1 human artificer, which says when Iktekik Salvage Splicer enters the battlefield, create a 3/3 colorless golem artifact creature token, and whenever an artifact is put into graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on Iktekik and a +1/+1 counter on each golem you control. So, whenever an artifact gets into our graveyard, then we can put a +1/+1 counter on Iktekik and all of our golems. And yeah, it's just Goblin Tribal Artifact Sacrifice. It's pretty awesome. But mono green is pretty restrictive for that theme, so that's why we have partner. And I chose to partner with Akiri Lionslinger, which is red-white for a 0/3 legendary cold soldier ally with first strike and vigilance, and it gets +1/+0 for each artifact you control. It's pretty synergistic because of artifacts. Golems are artifacts, but it's mainly here for the colors because red is just great and very synergistic with artifacts and artifact sacrifice, and then white allows us to have access to a lot of the other Golem Tribal cards, which there aren't many of, but white does give us access to those. So let's get things started off with ramp. We've got Soul Ring, Wayfarer's Bauble, which we can pay 2 mana to have and sacrifice it to search our library for basic land and put it into play tapped and shuffle our library. So we are sacrificing an artifact. This can trigger Iktekik, and it's just great ramp. Fire Diamond enters the battlefield tapped and taps for a red. Rule Signet. We can pay 1 and tap it to add red-green to our mana pool. Then we got Marble Diamond, enters taps for white. Mind Stone, taps for a colorless, but we can also pay 1 and sacrifice it to draw a card, which will trigger Iktekik. Celestial Signet, 1 mana to tap it, add green-white to our mana pool, and Moss Diamond enters taps for green. Then we've got some more artifacts that we can sacrifice. Commander's Fair, we can sacrifice it to draw a card, again, triggering Iktekik. Vraska Relic, same thing, but we can have to sacrifice it only if we have the City's Blessing, and we also gain 3 life and draw a card. Then that will trigger Iktekik. And then we have Hedron Archive, which we can pay 2 and to sacrifice it, draw 2 cards, and then trigger also Iktekik. And Dreamstone Hedron, which can have 3 colors, or we can pay 3, sacrifice it to draw 3 cards, and trigger Iktekik. Now for our creatures, we've got Chronomaton, 1 mana, 1/1 golem. We can pay 1 and tap it to put a +1/+1 counter on it. We just want a bunch of golems to put +1/+1 counters on. They don't have to necessarily be good. Gingerbrute, a food golem with haste. A Tog, a free artifact sacrifice outlet, which is pretty good, which can be very good for this deck. Sacrifice an artifact to give a Tog +2/+2 until end of turn. Mere Retriever, when it dies, return a target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. So it can return another artifact we sacrificed from our graveyard to our hand. Slowback Goblin Tinkerer, another artifact sacrifice outlet, and it also can protect some of our golems by giving them indestructible. Burnished Heart, you can sacrifice it, search a library for 2 basic lands, put them onto the battlefield tapped, triggering Iktekik. Felder of the Third Path, when we have an artifact creature in the graveyard, we can get a copy of it, and then we can use it, and then we sacrifice it again, and then we sacrifice the token. And if that token is a golem, then when we sacrifice the token, that is again also triggering everything else. So it's going to be really awesome. When we sacrifice that token at the beginning of our end step, it's triggering Iktekik. Then we've got Blade Splicer, one of the Golem Tribal cards I was talking about, 2 and white for a 1/1 human artificer. When Blade Splicer enters the battlefield, create a 3/3 colorless Golem artifact creature token, and golems you control have first strike. Junk Diver, when it dies, return another artifact card from our graveyard to our hand. Workshop Assistant, 3 mana for a 1/2 construct. When it dies, return another target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand, so similar to Junk Diver. Silverhawk Replica, it's not a golem, but we can sacrifice it to destroy an artifact or enchantment, which is useful in Commander, with getting the bonus of triggering Iktekik. Arcbound Crusher, we can sacrifice this to put a bunch of +1/+1 counters on something. Lodestone Golem, non-artifact spells, cost 1 more to cast. Or almost all of our spells are artifacts, so this is pretty good. Master Splicer, and when it enters, create a 3/3 colorless golem artifact creature token, and golems you control get +1/+1. Vital Splicer, when it enters, create a 3/3 colorless golem artifact creature token, and then we can pay 1 generic mana to regenerate target golem we control. So that's very good. And then we have another Golem Artisan, Now we have Golem Artisan, which is a bad golem, but it's still a golem. Kuldotha Forge Master, we can tap it, sacrifice 3 artifacts to search our library for any artifact and put it onto the battlefield. We have some nice artifacts that it can target. Center Splicer, when it enters, create a 3/3 colorless golem, and golem creatures you control have vigilance. Darksteel Sentinel, flash, vigilance, and indestructible, and it's a golem, so it's pretty nice. Inatu Golem, 6 mana 3/5. When it dies, we gain 4 life. That's synergistic with our sacrificing theme. Megatog, more artifact sacrifice outlet. Maul Splicer, when it enters, create 2 3/3 colorless golems, and golems you control have trample. It's one of the better splicers. Pardic Wanderer, 6 mana for a 5/5 with trample golem. Pretty nice. And Meteor Golem, 7 mana for a 3/3 golem. When it enters, destroy target non-land permanent an opponent controls. And then we've got Bosch Iron Golem, 6/7 with trample. We can pay 3 in a red and sacrifice an artifact, and then deal that damage equal to that artifact's converted mana cost to any target. Very nice. Sacrifice artifacts. It's a golem. Does everything we want. Phyrexian Triniform, 9 mana, 9/9. When it dies, create 3 golems. And it has Encore for 12. Pretty interesting card. Ancient Stone Idol. Cost 1 life for each attacking creature. 12/12 with flash and trample. And when it dies, create a 6/12 with trample. Pretty nice. Maelstrom Colossus, 8 mana, 7/7 with Cascade. And then we've got some artifacts that we can sacrifice with Mishra's Bauble, Tormod's Crypt, Urza's Bauble, and Welding Jar. We can all sacrifice these guys for free. So it's just a nice free trigger with Iktekik. We got some 1 mana cantrips with Chromatic Star, Conjurer's Bauble, Horizon Spellbomb, and Implement of Combustion, which we can sacrifice them to draw a card. And then we also, more importantly, get to trigger Iktekik. Panic Spellbomb, same thing. Pirate Spellbomb, same thing. Ichor Wellspring, when it enters, we draw a card, and when it dies, we draw a card. So, drawing cards, pretty nice. Prophetic Prism, another cantrip. And, yeah, it's a good artifact that we can just sacrifice. Sleeper Dart, enters battlefield, draw a card, another cantrip. You can sacrifice it for free. Throne of Geth, pretty nice. You can sacrifice an artifact to proliferate. And this is a +1/+1 counter deck, so proliferating is useful. And this literally does everything we want. Pretty nice. Swiftfoot Boots protects Iktekik. Commander Sphere, already have that, so just disregard that. Golem Foundry, whenever we cast an artifact spell, we put a charge counter on it, and we can remove 3 artifacts from it to put a colorless 3/3 golem onto the battlefield. Pretty nice. Titan Forge, we can pay 3 and tap it to put a charge counter on it, and we can tap it, remove 3 charge counters, and create a 9/9 colorless golem. Then we got Eldrazi Monument, 5 mana for an artifact. Creatures you control get +1/+1, have flying and indestructible. And at the end of our upkeep, we have to sacrifice a creature, and if we can't, sacrifice Eldrazi Monument. So we do have to sacrifice a creature, but flying and indestructible and +1/+1 is very nice. Then for the mana base, Jungle Shrine, which taps for any of our colors. Greypelt Refuge, Rugged Highlands, and Windscarred Crags. Each tap for either 2 out of the 3 of our colors and gain 1 life when they enter. Temple of Abandon and Temple of Plenty, they both enter tapped, and they scry us 1 when they enter. And then we're running 9 forests, 10 plains, 12 mountains, and yeah. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the good stuff, and I will see you next time. And I forgot to mention, this deck is only $50. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm going to get this deck probably. $50, amazing deck. It's great. It's interesting. Yeah. Alright, I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe.